Hi, I'm Mim Hosking. Welcome to another Word in Season. Have you noticed this buzz in the air on Saturday mornings as we've had this lovely sunshine and spring weather starting? Now, I'm not talking about buzzing bees or even the buzz of families busy with activity, but the buzz that comes over the fence as the neighbours mow their lawn. We've had lots of beautiful rain and the gardens are flourishing, but so are the weeds. And I'm not sure if you've been like me, but every time I go to mow the lawn, it's either dark or it's raining again. But I finally got out last weekend, and as I was mowing the lawn, I could see the distinct difference between those parts of the lawn that had been mown and those that hadn't. And I could see those weeds that are undesirable, unattractive, and troublesome. We don't want them to grow in our gardens, but unless they are regularly dealt with, they do grow. Unless I mow, the weeds grow. So this got me thinking about our spiritual gardens of the soul. When we neglect to care for our relationship with God, weeds quickly grow. When we're too busy, we're distracted, we doubt or have apathy, they stop us from tending to our spiritual garden and the weeds grow. Or perhaps we're missing a key ingredient that would nourish the soil of the garden of our soul, our relationship with God. So I had to ask myself, am I investing in time with God to grow a healthy garden of the soul? Proverbs 28 verse 19 says, "Work your garden, you'll end up with plenty of food. Play and party, and you'll end up with an empty plate." When we neglect the garden of our soul, or even just a small corner of our inner world, the weeds grow, and we are not able to do or be as fruitful as God intended us to be. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 23 to 24 encourages readers to pay attention, to be healthy with Jesus, not without him. Paul writes, "I pray that the God who gives you peace will make you completely holy, and may your spirit, soul, and body be kept healthy and faultless until our Lord Jesus Christ returns." The one who chose you can be trusted, and he will do this. You see, we need Jesus to remove the weeds and maintain health in our spiritual garden of the soul. Weeds first came into the Garden of Eden as a consequence of sin. When God walked through the garden that evening after Adam and Eve had eaten the fruit that they were told not to, their response was to hide from God. Genesis reveals that God had compassion on Adam and Eve. While there were many consequences, one of them was that they could no longer have access to the tree of life, and they were shut out of the garden and a right relationship with God. But God's love was extended, and in the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus cries for the broken relationship between God and all humanity as he prepares to die on another tree, the wooden cross. Jesus is the only one who can remove the problem of sin, the weeds in our garden. We can't do the work of removing sin ourselves. It's God's work in us as we accept Jesus in our lives. Just as removing the weeds in our green gardens creates space for healthy plants to bloom and flourish, Jesus brings forgiveness, healing, and new life. He transforms us through his grace and restoration. In addition, there are a few things that we can also do to be more open to God as our gardener. The changes may be subtle, small, but consistent, so that God can plant, cultivate, and nourish lasting fruitfulness in our spiritual lives. So here's a few ideas. Reading a few verses of the Bible each day, going for a slow walk with God in a garden or a park once a week and listening to him. Or maybe listening to a sermon podcast or worship music as you drive. Making church attendance on a Sunday a priority because you know that it nourishes your soul. Can I suggest talking about the Bible with others, praying with them, perhaps in a Connect group or just meeting up with a trusted friend once a fortnight and talking about the Bible as you have a cup of coffee? Whatever the small steps are that you make towards nurturing your own faith, it will bring great value in growing a healthy garden of the soul. Not just for you, but for those around you, the children in your life, the people you live with and work with, and extend love to. Paul writes in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, I planted the seeds and Apollos watered them, but God made them sprout and grow. Apollos and I work together for God, and you are God's garden. God makes the garden of our soul grow. So the big question that I asked myself as I was mowing the lawn is, am I allowing God the space to grow what He wants in my life? Or am I neglecting the garden of my soul and letting the weeds creep in, distractions and thorns that suck the life out of me? I pray that the garden of your soul is given every opportunity to thrive and grow the good fruit that God desires. May you be stronger and healthier as you walk with Him and share His goodness with those that He has placed in your sphere of influence.